Chancellor of Wits University. Ngiyacinga abantu bamanje ifuna ufunda Wits certification. Coming closer to Provost wethu SLSP umthandazo. That is my table, guys, and I'll be introducing more guests as they come in. Hopefully we will have time. But I do want to announce that if you look at our program well, it's very limited in terms of time. So I may not be able to do other things at length, because you can see we are dealing here with a list of illustrious people who have got commitments, who have got to catch flights. So we will try to stick to the time as much as possible. So ladies and gentlemen, I will now be moving to item number 4, which is the purpose of the day. I have graduation ceremony, so we don't hide among the speakers. Lastly, because for the benefit here in Rwanda, we want you to see that it is possible. It's not every day that you get people of the caliber of or Dr. Dlamini or Dr. Nyasana attending to a high school-based occasion. But we want to see that ngabantu who are real, you can touch and you can achieve as much as they have. And also with the book launch, you can also see that Dr. Mayosi came from point X and he was at point Y, he was going to point Z. And he could achieve, he could make it happen, as he was one of the most internationally recognized and highly decorated scholars. Mankala again who introduced Dr. Nyati. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, sudden change of program. We often call that as program directors technical glitches. We are clear ukuba ndifake uDr. Nyasana, uTata uNyasana, purely because he has got another commitment. So I will be moving pretty fast. Dr. Nyasana will be giving us a work as a chairperson of the Bongani Mayosi Foundation. His other name is Errol, Dr. Errol Nyasana, born in Lamontville. I see here they say he's happily married, and I agree to that. I've seen him in the past hour. They are real love beds. They still look at each other deep in the eye, and I'm very happy with that. He is a financial professional, he is a banker, and he's a business person. He was born in Lamontville in KZN. He is the founder of the Sizwe Nyasana Future Nation Schools and chair at the National Education Collaboration Trust and National Student Financial Aid Scheme. If you talk NSFAS and money, you are now talking to Nyasana. This is where Errol Nyasana is one of the most successful South African accountants and business executives. He has acquiring a wealth of experience in corporate management. Mr. Nyasana matriculated at KwaZulu-Natal's Marian Hill High School. Ubangababe uyaphuma ujoge Pine Town, Richardson Road, you take off ramp left, you go further left, Awamba straight to Marian Hill is on the right. That's where he was. He's a BCom graduate from the University of Fort Hare. He's also an ex-student of UNISA, where he concentrated on the Bachelor of Accounting Science and achieved an honors degree there. He holds several honorary doctorates from various universities. He has worked as the CEO of the First Rand Limited and the CEO of Telkom SA Limited from 1988. You might be aware that our principal was in Cape Town with a conference of PricewaterhouseCoopers. He has also worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers and Unilever, and later established Sizwe and Company in KwaZulu-Natal. He has also served at ABSA as the national president of the bank, ABSA, between 1991 and 1994. In 1996, he co-founded a national firm of accountants called Bongani Sizwe Nsaluba. The company later represented itself as Sizwe Nsaluba Goboto. Sizwe served as a national managing director of the company for a couple of years. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Sizwe Errol Ngasam. A big round of applause.
Enkosi kakhulu program director. Siyambulisa nonke apha endlini. Let me take this opportunity to greet and welcome Umama kaBongani. Bese introducile uprogram director. Usisi Khuthala nanke usisi Bongani. They are representing the family of Mayosi. And I'm not going to introduce other dignitaries here, but just welcome everybody and say all protocol observed.
Amen.
I was very happy when I saw these learners come to this side. Ben Balama exam namhlanje?
Yes.
Ben Balama trials?
Yes.
Benenzima. Ingaba bafuna ukuthetha ngawo. Abana umusa, abaqhabi, abenza into. Siyamthanda kodwa. Siyamthanda
Sanithanda.
You know, sometimes, days are tough. Sometimes you write papers, especially now, njengoba nje ubhala trials. Sometimes you may lose hope that you are not going to make it at the end of the year. Just keep going. Just keep going. Laba bangapha ngicela niqhabele laba bangapha ukuthi yeah, all the best, by the way, because we have about just over a month before the final exams. So there's still time to catch up. I know the teachers are arranging camps for you to try and help you so that you succeed. You will be okay, you will be fine. Just keep working. If you didn't do well in your tests, in your exams, it's okay. Just, we all went through that. We all went through that. And you think, all the way through. A lot of people don't know. Program director, trying to become a chartered accountant, I failed at least 4 times. 4 times. But the important thing, eventually I made it. And today I'm Palap and Togo. So just know, failure into years and you learn a lot from failure. It's just how you pull yourself up. You go, you dust yourself up. Just carry on working and you'll be fine. Just very briefly, yes, I'm the chairperson of the Bongani Mayosi Foundation. And the Bongani Mayosi Foundation is there to promote and preserve the legacy of Bongani. The panel that's going to talk later are going to talk a lot about what Bongani, who Bongani was, what he did. So I'm not going to dwell in that. But as a foundation, which was started by the Bongani Mayosi family, it is all about those things that were important to Bongani. For instance, mathematics. I know some of you may be doing math literacy. I can math literacy. Let's come a little down. Because mathematics is really, really important. It may sound like difficult sometimes and so on, but mathematics opens a lot more doors for you than maths literacy. I know obviously there are learners who sometimes are even pushed to go and do maths literacy. And I must thank you, Mr. McCartney, the principal and the school management team here for not having maths literacy, because it closes a lot of doors for young people. So the Bongani Mayosi Foundation promotes mathematics and science, particularly physical science, because those subjects were very important in making Bongani Mayosi what he then later became. He became a professor, worldwide known professor, because the foundations that were built after St. John's in mathematics and science allowed him, obviously with the support of the teachers, to become what he became. And also we support a lot of young people who are pursuing the same route that Bongani Mayosi pursued at medical school. So Bongani Mayosi was one of those leaders, people who did things that other people didn't do. But what he did was to make sure that people knew that it was possible to be a medical student at the same time become a researcher. So when he was doing his MBCHB, he branched out a third year and pursued research, and he continued on the double stream until he became the professor, the worldwide known professor that he became. So we promote and support a lot of students in medical schools to do that. We also offer academic prizes for students who don't just excel academically, but for students who demonstrate that they have what we call servant leadership qualities. In other words, it's not about themselves, it's about improving the lives of others beyond the academic excellence which they pursue. Because that's what Bongani Mayosi did. That's what he did. He wasn't just concerned about doing well for himself at school, which he did. He was also concerned about how we could change things for society to benefit broadly. So we do that with a program working with the University of Cape Town called the Intercalated Program, where we support students that are doing the Bachelor of Medical Science or BMed Science or MMed Science. At the same time, they're doing MBCHB to come. So that's very important. And we also have an annual lecture, which has very important people in the world in the area of healthcare. During the time of COVID, we had representatives from the World Health Organizations who spoke at the Bongani Mayosi annual lecture. And the number of academic institutions now that have named a number of, whether it's lecture halls or libraries and so on, after Bongani Mayosi, so that young people who go to those institutions will know not just who Bongani Mayosi was, but also what he stood for, the path that he chose, and what he did in the world for the improvement, particularly of Africans, in terms of their health, their lives, and so on. So that's what the Bongani Mayosi does, and I'm really honored and privileged to be part of that organization. A lot is going to be said during the book launch, but let me just take this opportunity to thank the family, to thank the organizers of this event. Every cent that comes out, or the profit that comes out of the sale of the Bongani Mayosi book, goes to the foundation to promote all those activities which I spoke about, which are not just preserving the legacy of Bongani Mayosi, but about helping younger learners and students to become what Bongani Mayosi, in fact, maybe to even excel and become something better than what Bongani himself became. So with that, let me wish you good luck for your exams. Wish all the teachers well. I know at this time of the year, teachers and learners are working really hard because we only have a limited time before the exam. So good luck. Thank you.
A big round of applause again. I think I'm one of those people who are going to retire happy because I've never had such an opportunity of being with such illustrious company in my life. I'm really happy to hear the words. I'm also revitalized and revived. I'm going back to school next year to study. I will. My boss knows I mean it. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know noba unyana mukhona na uBhayibhile. Makavele wawukhona. Okay? Uzawutsho xa seyifikile. Ndicela ukuphakamisa umama uMagoda kwakhona nimbone. Bese acknowledgeile but kumbona nje as our SGP member. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Utata Ungasana might just leave at some stage because of the commitment that he has. So please don't feel offended. Okay, thank you. Ngoku ke ndicinga uba ndizawuya phaa kutata uNyathi. Apha kutata uNyathi azosinika i-purpose of the day. Ndicinga ukuba uyawukwazi ukuba asibriefe. Thank you.
Molweni nonke.
Microphone.
Molweni nonke itheni ngathi nje i-energy ezantsi. Molweni on my left. Ninjani? Hayi nathi siyaphila. I'm an old student salapha St. John's and ndagqiba ngo-1983. All right? So ndime apha ngegunya lokuba ndiphume kwezi sikolo ndayozenzileyo. Now i-purpose yanamhlanje seyichaziwe kancinci. The purpose of this gathering is about launching a book about a human being whose life reached heights that are, hardly reached by other human beings. Dr. Bongani Mayosi, or Professor Bongani Mayosi, a little bit has been shared about him. But what I want to say is St. John's College, nabantu aba-associated nayo, should be very proud ukuba it produced a morning star engubongani Mayosi. Now niyayazi ke iquiz lokusa i-morning star, it's the brightest star in the morning. Yebo, heralding uba ke kuzoba kuse. So he did so much and he did so much in his 51 years of life. Now, just one thing, wazalwa on the 28th January 1967. Right? 28th of January 1967. Now, it's important ke landala nyaka because that is the year Apo, another great South African, yenza indokwa heart transplant Dr. Chris Barnard eGroteskeur, right? That was on the 3rd of December 1967. Now, so on the same year, Bongani Mayosi was born. And what he's known for is being one of the best cardiologists, that is specialists of the heart in the whole world. All right? But he discovered a gene that makes people to have a sudden heart arrest. That is, inhliziyo ivelime umuntu afe singayazi uba So through his research, I think achazwa le nto ngo-2018, he made that breakthrough ukuba what causes people to suddenly die bebengathi ba-healthy and they suddenly die. Now that discovery kaBongani is being compared in terms of medical advances, is being compared with laa nto yenziwa ngoChris Barnard yokuba akwazi ukhupha inhliziyo komnye umuntu ayifake komnye umuntu aphile. There are many other things azenzayo. For example, kule ndawo sihlala kuyo Eastern Cape, TB is one of the biggest problems ezibulalayo. Sometimes it affects nenhliziyo. uBongani came up with a new way of treating i-TB yenhliziyo. Into engazange khe yenzeka emhlabeni. This is just two of the things azenzileyo, zininzi ezinye azenzileyo. He has been recognized by our president, Jacob Zuma, that time. He's been recognized in the continent of Africa. He's been recognized in the highest levels of science. He's almost like a walk of fame of some kind in the US. This is our class, Londo. So, sizothi ke apha kunini students zase St. John's. In this school and the passages that you are walking through every day, there was a man called Bongani Mayosi. A man who was very humble, but a man who was very focused. He was here 1981 and 1982. And he excelled up at St. John's. He was the best in the whole of Transkei for 1982 as a matriculator. Yeah, yet, at the same time, he did another degree after the third year. Apple, he made his first scientific discovery. Anatomy. Kukitambo eli le hill, city calcaneum. He found a certain hole that has never been described by any professor in the past. So he made his first scientific discovery even before he became a medical doctor. So sithi ke nina bantu abafunda St. John's you can achieve anything that you set your minds on. Le ncwadi ke izolotshwa apha ebhalwe nguDr. Judy Dlamini nomnye ugqirha ongekhoyo apha namhlanje, epublishwe yiSifiso Publishers. Le ncwadi siza kuyinika some of the students. Ibonisa ukuba xa when you are focused and you are prepared to work hard, anything is possible. He became the best in the world. He's described by Professor Salim Abdul Karim, laws as TV in the COVID, as the best medical scientist or scientists of all time, living or dead, are in South Africa. Yeah, God. Akekho umuntu oye wa reach the levels with science, not just medical science, with science in general, up in South Africa, wadlula uBongani Mayosi. So ke sithi le ncwadi le noba uzokwenza i-accounting, uzokwenza i-engineering or anything ozawuyenza, kunezifundo ezibonisayo ukuba ubongazilandela, you will achieve and be the best in the world. So sizo inspiration nina ngale ncwadi so that nani niyazi ukuba is possible. Thank you very much.
Hey, esandleni bethu inkulu lento.
Kutheni nje naske nayekelela imizimba. Makashum igazi kunamzelela indawo zokuphunda. Sekuthi
Ndiyakulela.
ndimi kule ndawo ndithe dangalala. Kuba kaloku sidibene kule ndibano ngokubhiyonza. kodwa kungathi sidandathekile. We are in this Congress to rejoice alive. Death came walking, but found him dancing. It came as a king to rule his own, but found him as a landlord who ruled his own. Death has no place in his life, for it came running and found him walking in a place of a scientist, of course. And then it came marching. It was marching towards him. And he took his hand, strangled death, and said, "Death, do not be proud, for I leave a legacy, for I live this world, yet my words will remain spoken." Death came walking, but found him dancing. It came as a landlord to collect his own, but found him as a king who ruled his own. Death, be not proud, for you walk like a king at night, and he preached like a heroine in daylight. Oh, shameless death, though you may have stolen him from us, yet he still stands with his words and teachings, and we are saying today, long live with the prophets. Walihlamba ingqondo ngemfundo, walihlamba ikhaya ngemfundo, ile nto sidibene kule ndawo ngemfundo. Kodwa phakathi kweengcango zesikolo sam ndilifumene uthando, ndalifumana umbhambathiso. Yiyo le nto ndizama kule ndawo ndithi Zet Magaqa, yewethu principal, zititshala, yewethu zititshala, siphethe iflag ye-Avioli, siphethe iflag ye-Bongani. Hey, ubudume kaloku ngokwazi heart in and out. Ngoku ke kutheni nje nithangalele? Yemani makusobani indawo zokuphumla, inhliziyo zenu mazichwayite, kuba he stood and he made a mark. Rebellious citizens, rise and be proud. He is from Eastern Cape, where we look and shine.
Thank you very much, my son. I just want to say, yimbongi ye-college leya. Futhi ke i-potential ininzi ngoba he is going international. Ngo-April ebebonga sine delegation evela eGermany ivisitele apha esikolweni. Now I'm hoping that the principal will touch on that at some stage. Because it's one of the milestones that we want to achieve in the school, having international partnerships. So, imbongi yetu ihamba kulo level, kwaye isenyuka. I want to thank Dr. Fundile Nyati. Unayo ke the program abanayo e-TV emane ivela ethi The Fun Doctor. La Fun ke usuka pha kufundile to The Fun Doctor. He is on all social media and he does take keen interest on mental health issues as well. But as I was saying, a longer and more elaborate introduction is coming. Right now, I want to acknowledge the following people: Abakoyo Nabo Apa. An ex-teacher at St. John's College, now retired, Umama Uboni Swachafta. kuthiwa mandibhale incwadi ngaye nam about write a lot. She was one of the most ardent people abamele discipline and very strong at that. Mhlawumbe nangoku ayekileyo, we need to find a replacement, but the shoes are too big. We have to stuff the shoes with some paper first and make sure even the small feet can fit. Yeah. Tala ukwazisa umama uphama. Tala aphakame. At St. John's College, we really appreciate parents. Umama uphama is parent yomntana who is in another school but part of the hub. Yes, St. John's College Technology. Beye Cape Town, Bayo computer, and they won position 2 nationally. In Tata High School, Ibikona ke Apo, EFATA Ibikona, St. John's College Ibikona representing our hub. Ngicela ukuphakamisa umama umthoba. Umama umthoba, the veteran that you see. We are very proud to have her here. She's an ex-teacher at St. John's College as well. She left the school over 30 years ago. So you can see that we really treasure our history. Lastly, ngicela uku-acknowledge abantwana abakhoyo apha. I've noted the presence here eFata. Niyabona kuyasayinwa phaya. EFATA I was part of the hub. The learner you see there is one of the learners that won position 2 nationally. Telawa Malaysia in Tata High School, we have come a long way and we're still going a long way now. A part of the hub here at St. John's, yes, science, technology, and innovation. Tata High School, please stand up. Teachers, tell them to sign in the Pagamas. May you please stand up, sir? Teacher from Tata High School. Thank you very much. Our high school, technology hub here is driven by Mr. Kosi. Mr. Kosi, acknowledgement to you, sir, and great honor to you. Thank you very much. As I said, I will be calling out my list as the time goes on. Right now, ngicela uku-acknowledge i-sisters zika Bongani, Mayosi, ezikhoyo. Cela niphakame, please. Funa ukuthi ke wayefunda apha naye. Yes. Bongani was the second one. Icinga bake baye ba semva kwakhe. Usisikuthala lona ngizawucela eze ngaphambili to give us item number 6 on message from the sister. Over to you, Sikuthala. Message from the sister. A very brief one, 5 minutes maximum.
Okay.
Not yet.
After panel.
No problem. Thank you very much. Am I now going to the panel discussion?
Yes.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us keep that one. It's coming because it's really important for us to hear something from the family. So we will reschedule that item. Right now, I know that some of the members of the panel have not yet arrived, so we will proceed without them. But those that are here, I know that they are strong enough to present a complete view of the launch. I-launch yethu ke i-panel yayo izawumediatwa ngu-Dr. Nyati. It is now that I think I should introduce him properly. Dr. Nyati is a qualified medical doctor a seasoned healthcare entrepreneur and founder of the Proactive Health Solutions. He was born in Libote and later relocated to Tabase. Utata wakhe waye wacelwa ayovula isikolo eTabase. Ezalwa ke ngabantu abatitshayo, so wabeke uyarelocate to Tabase. Ungamphikisi umuntu ukuthi othi kwaseLibote, bakulapha asuka khona, then relocated to Tabase. Already by the age of 6, he had made up his mind that he was going to pursue medical studies. And the career choice plans were encouraged by his family. His early family influences were education, entrepreneurship, and healthcare service delivery. In the healthcare service delivery influence is because apha kufutshane nevekile le yayirunwa ngumama wakhe kwakukhona clinic. So eyibona ke ngokuba naba bantu abafuna uncedo. And the clinic was very poorly resourced, unfortunately. So some of the medicines, as is injectable, that's it in a fridge in a piping. So it really influenced him, Lendo. By the time he was 6, 7, he had already made up his mind that he wants to be a doctor. He matriculated at St. John's College and achieved a top 10 position in the matriculants from the Transkei Education Department. I must say that in that 1983, in the whole country, he was the top in biology, which we now call life sciences. He qualified as a medical doctor, fully qualified as a medical doctor by the age of 22. Amongst his notable classmates at medical school was the record-breaking Dr. Bongani Mayosi, the first black dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences at the University of Cape Town. I want to talk just one sentence about Dr. Mayosi in relation to him. Well, Dr. Mayosi was very, very hardworking. He was brilliant. He was a genius. He accolades Zakes Kazi. But not only that, he coupled that with hard work. And virtually, he didn't have time for social life. Fortunately, Dr. Nyati was equally gifted and worked very hard. But the problem was social life. It is recorded and documented that he really liked weekend partying. Unfortunately, there are other things that were mentioned in my source that I'm not going to mention here. But after medical school, he came back to Mthatha General Hospital to serve his internship. But as from 1992 onwards, he opened his own private practice. He completed his master's in family medicine in the year 2000 from the SA Colleges of Medicine. He developed passion for integrating the medical profession with business. But he wanted a qualification for that. And he went to Manchester in the UK to complete an advanced management program from the Manchester Business School. In 2000, he opened a company that I've already mentioned called Proactive Health Solutions. I keep harping on this company because our hub in Cape Town in the CPSI competition, they were working on innovations to be used in hospitals, focusing on mental health. And I know that that is your passion as well. This company started to operate in January 2000, and it took about 6 months before it was fully fledged. And their first client was the South African Post Office. By 2009, a good 9 years after that, the business was growing exponentially in its public sector engagement and client base. By that time, his company was attending to over 190,000 staff of the SAPS. And need I mention that by 2012, the company was having an annual turnover of over 81 million every year. We're talking about the He's a health entrepreneur, a family physician, health industry thought leader, health blogger, and a philanthropist. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing the chairperson and mediator for the panel today, Dr. Fundile Nyati. We also have a panel member, as already introduced, Dr. Judy Dlamini. She is a South African businesswoman and author who is the Chancellor of the University of Witwatersrand. She's the founding chairperson. I see here they've written chairman. She's the founding chairperson of the Bongani group, and she has served as the chairperson of the board of Aspen Pharma Care Holdings from November 2007 until 2015. She has also served as a non-executive director of the same company until December 2015. She's a qualified medical doctor. She is a wife to Dr. Rasana, married, happily married. In 2020, now listen to this, my dear learners. In 2020, the magazine Forbes called her one of Africa's 50 most powerful women. In 2022, remember that was 50 most powerful in Africa. Now in 2022, she was mentioned by Forbes as one of the 50 women leading the way, most powerful women through Europe, Middle East, and Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Dr. Judy Dlamini. With your permission, she's also known as Nobuth. You can see her. I will introduce now the other member who is also in the panel. Very well known around, has appeared a lot on local, matriculating here, and then went on to study as a teacher at Kikiha College of Education. Now, dear learners, is the place you know as the KSDT that times change, things change, names change. He started his career as a teacher at St. John's College to give back to his old school. He is also a businessman and also a philanthropist. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Dr. Andy Lenonso, and I'm not done yet. He has got the Dr. Andy Lenonso Foundation that invests in grooming young boys to be better future leaders, to develop them through golf and other sports, as well as teaching them social skills. You can see how well decorated he is. He obtained his PhD in 2020. He is the founding member and secretary of both the Eastern Cape Chamber of Business and the OR Tambo District Chamber of Business, and holds several positions at various organizations as a board member. Nizawuintroduce ke ngoku kwakhona a very brief one, umama uNonhle Mayosi, as part of the panel. Mama uNonhle Mayosi is well decorated. You can see her accolades. Come to imagine the times during which she grew up. Nibone ukuba a black woman could have achieved such accolades at the time. A former professional nurse. Umama kaBongani bamfumana uBongani eCharter George Tim Kelson Sikhumbuzo Mayosi. was also a medical doctor. Yathanda ke ukuba ndithi ezi zinto zibalulekile because ukhona umfana wahlala bemthatha enote oneculo athanda ulicula ethi enje mama wakhe. We honor umama Mayosi kakhulu for
Dili yoko yoko ndi.
Okay, thank you very much.
You need wireless. You need wireless like. No,
Ndicela ke ngoku ukusese besacima gqibile sese ndi-introduce umama lo ungenayo. Umama ongenayo uhlonipheke kakhulu. Mandiqale njengelithi she is a judge in the Supreme Court of Appeal of South Africa. A former judge, she's the incumbent judge, having assumed office in June 2015. Umama Unambita Tambuza, a former attorney. She sat in the Eastern Cape High Court from 2005 until her appointment to the Supreme Court in 2015. Now, choke for official reasons that she was appointed by President Jacob Zuma. Okay, we had target before that. From 2005 to 2015, we had 2003 to 2005, appointed President Thabo Mbeki. She was born in King Williamstown. I think Lichinchiwika Mangoku, Ikone, and matriculated at St. John's College. She studied law at the University of Natal, where she completed a degree called the Baccalaureate Procutionist. AIS has worked commonly as the BProc, and later completed a Baccalaureate Legum, known as the LLB, in 1987 and 1989, respectively. She completed her articles at Zimande and Mbuli, a law firm in Durban. Later on, she studied at New Orleans in the USA, completing a master's degree in law. In Latin, we call it a Magister Legum. She returned to South Africa in 1992. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Judge Nambita Tavuza, Judge Nambita Tambuza, Honorable. I will now hand over to Dr. Fundi Lenyati. Ayibeke ipanel yakhe kakuhle azokwazi ukuqhuba ngokusebenza kwakhe. But if I may advise Dr. Nyati, please have an emissary isiphathele a few of the books so that after the launch umfundisi akwazi uzibless. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Oh, okay.
Enkosi kakhulu Tishala Umatoni. I think before we get into our program, yokuthetha ngale ncwadi size ngayo. Before sithethe ngale ncwadi, he's been telling you about everyone here, what they achieved and whatever. But I need to tell everyone here that this gentleman, 2 years ago, or last year, I'm not sure exactly, 2 years ago, he was recognized as the second best teacher in South Africa. He specializes in geography, but you have a gem in this gentleman. Please appreciate him. Thank you. So ngoku singena kulomba undoqo kanye intoni esizeleyo apha sizothetha ngale ncwadi. Now today we are here to launch in this school, St. John's College, incwadi ebhalwe ngobomi buka Professor Bongani Mayosi. Besendichilo ukuba yi-alumni yase St. John's. And it is tell city rise like an eagle and shine like a star. So he shone like a star the way we expect Abantu St. John's to do. And he shone so brightly, more than any other star, to an extent that by the time Ubombake Bupela at age 51, Dr. Judith Lamnusa up, she said many people would not achieve what Ubongani achieved in 3 life years. You know, if you multiply an average person from actually 70 years, so even if you 210 years, many people would not achieve what Bongani achieved in 51 years. So okay, sizo teta ngo Bongani nezinto azenzileyo ngokubhalwe apha encwadini. So i-panel yethu ke obviously the main person in the panel is the publisher of the book. You know, so the publisher of the book is Fiso Publishers, and that is owned by Dr. Dlamini no Mr. Sizwa Nxasana. So she is Dr. Dlamini, the publisher, a publisher le ncwadi, but also she is the co-author yale ncwadi. So ubhale le ncwadi encediswa ngomnye ugqirha, but izinto ezininzi zibhalwe nguye. So imibuzo ndizawuqala pha kuye ndiye ke ngoku kwi-members ze-panel. Right? So that's how we're going to do it. This book was launched in January in Cape Town. Last weekend of January in Cape Town, at Victoria and Alfred Waterfront. And so there's been a number of launches in Gauteng and in other places. But we have a unique launch situation at the Eastern Cape. 3 cities book launch tour. Scala up and Tata. Kulapa ngoku ebusuku sisewusu. Ngomso eForte eMonti, and then ngomgqibelo eGqeberha. It has never happened that this book is taken through 3 cities in 1 province. But the reason for that is a way of saying, Eastern Cape, you produced a giant. This giant who made changes, kwicala lezempilo, especially enhliziyweni. So Sizoti, thank you for giving the world the best medical scientist the world has ever seen from South Africa. So that is the reason why you are here. So I'm not going to waste time. Mine is to facilitate, not to talk. So we've got Dr. Dlamini. We've got Umama Bongani, umzalikazi. You know, guys, it's important to honor your parents, but abazalikazi are the ones who brought us, here on earth, carried for 9 months, as this way, and played a lot of role in making sure that we are molded to being the right persons, for the world. Umama uNonhle Mayosi ngulo mzalikazi. So kwezi book launches is the first time azawukhe abhodle ngomntana wakhe uBongani nezinto azenzileyo ebomini bakhe. All right, so that's the reason every panel, so that we give it's also therapeutic lanto iyanceda because abantu awufuni uba kuqala ukuhamba umntwana kushiyeke umzali, kodwa kuye yenzeke ngolunye uhlobo. Namhlanje ukuhlala kwakhe apha kukuba azobhodla ngomntanakhe esichazela indlela amkhulise ngayo, kuyathethwa ngayo apha encwadini. Sinaye uJudge Dambuza ngelaa xesha wayenza i-LLB sasisonke ngapha eNatal, andizuthetha nto enye ke ngu-honorable lo, so awunawuthetha into ezithile ngo-honorable. So simhijekile because she's supposed to be kwenye ipanel yaseFort Hare ngengomso, but decided ukumhijeka because she is an alumni yalapha eSt. John's. So we needed to have her here. And iphinde ngokibe nedolo lento because uye wachata nebrother kaBongani eyayifunda apha, ndiyifihla xa bebhulishwa, ndiyifihle phaa eGababa phantsi kwebhedi. So i-role yakhe is both at working with uBongani ewusu kwi-board, will I call it a board or the council, council, but also as a family member. So that's the reason elapha. The last person ngapha kwam ngu-Andile Nonto, sekuthethiwe kakhulu. U-Ants ke waye big kwi-social life ngozasilapha eSt. John's. Very, very big. Wayelikids futhi. Ikids ke ngabantu abenxiba impahla ezikupitsayo, zikupitse benza iphem ufumanisa kunzima. He was in the same grade no Bongani. They were not in the same class, but they were in the same grade. So he is here representing the Alumni Society, but also somebody who was a classmate kaBongani. Naye uzawutsho i-experiences zakhe ngoBongani. Yeke ke ntoba uBongani was not very social, and into wayeyinkomo. So when we were here, there were people who were board, and then there were those who were day scholars. So uBongani was a day scholar. Sasibabiza ke just sasibabiza ntwana day scholars. And I can't remember, there was a term for them. But it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we were here, sonke, digwi class behind them. So that is the reason why belapha kule panel. Manqale ke Dr. Judy Dlamini, who was my senior xa ndifike medical school. Ndifika ngo-84, wabe yena egqibezela medicine, I think ngo-84. Yeah, ngo-85. So 2 years, sa-overlapha nge-2 years. I-senior yam, kwinto yonke nasebhizinesini, i-senior yam. So Dr. Judy, let me start with you. We lost uBongani, I think was at the end of July 2018. You have decided that his life needed to be captured in book form. There's so many people that you could have decided to write about. Why did you decide to Lo, I am going to write a book, Gaye, as a co-author and the co-publisher, Yale Twati, Le Doctor of Hearts, the biography of Bongani Mayosi, authored or co-authored by Dr. Judy Dlamini. Why did you decide we are going to capture this guy's story?
Ngizawusukuma because bangihlezi ngeke bangibone ngapha.
Now who's on mic? On mic. Okay. Awu, danke Fundi. Sibonga.
Molweni kakhona. Uyazi nangidukuze KZN where I'm from. Sanibonani.
Ngicela ukulele
No,
doko
it's an honor to be here. And kubalekile ukuthi ngihloniphe abantu ababallekileyo kakhulu nonke nibalekile. Kodwa ke eKZN sithi inzala abantu. Usisinonhle uMrs Mayosi owasizalela iqhawe lethu enkosi. Kodwa ke it shows ukuthi nokho uBongani yayingasuki nje esikhaleni into abayiyo ngoba mawumbuka usisinonhle naye ulimele siyavuma ufundile eshada nje uBongani wayebhizi ne-honors yakhe so akakazayeke ukufunda. Siyacela ukubonga kuMr Magaqa. Ngibonile lapho ukuthi eVits iminyaka ize yabambili landelana kuthiwa i-contributor yama matric students athathwa eVits, one of the top universities in the continent. Outside Gauteng, this is the top school. Ngicela niqhwabe. So ngibuza umbuzo la ukuthi why Bongani? I met Bongani in 1983 when he came to do first year in medical school and I was already doing fourth year. And he just shone. He was a star from St. John's that shone brighter than the rest. And ngithe ngisalalele ube fike semeno nkosikazi wakhe uNonhlanhla Khumalo, professor naye, professor Nonhlanhla Khumalo. And ngithe ngisabhekile kwathiwa how this guy is now doing medical science. He's branched out and I was like, Thixo, I say nzima le medicine, what's wrong with this kid? Uyokwenza enye into. But that was Bongani for you. He was doing research because he's always wanted to be a researcher, right? And we were looking at so many things, especially when it comes to leadership. We talk a lot about the medical scientists. We talk a lot about the researcher. But you know what's bigger than all that? Bongani was a leader. He led the way. He was so caring. He changed so many things. And to Bongani, it didn't matter whether you were a medical doctor or a medical scientist. As long as you were an African from the continent, he found a way to make you better than he found you. So I met with some young doctors who were specializing a week before Bongani passed on. And we're just reminiscing about our days in Natal Black Section, Natal University Black Section, that's what we used to call it. And we're just, you know, when you brag about people that have done well from your alma mater, Bongani one of those, and we spoke about him. The following week, he was gone. And you know, we buried him, his service yakhe was at Cape Town International ICC. It was full. And there were people from Australia, there were people from UK, there were people from US, there were people from the African continent because he touched all those lives. And I sat there angry with death. And the only way I've learned to deal with anger is to do something positive out of that anger. Would you agree that is a constructive way of dealing with pain? Right? So I am grateful that ifamily ya Mayosi agreed that ungayibhala le ncwadi mntanami. And imidwife yale ncwadi is sitting right here, Mrs. Mayosi. it is not by coincidence that we are launching this book at Eastern Cape on the 14th of September 2023. 2 years ago to the day, this was the first person I interviewed, Usis Nontle Mayosi, the mother to this great hero. She gave birth to the book the same way she gave birth to Bongani. And thank you. And the first launch was at UCT on the day that she gave birth to him. So everything that has happened has been deliberate to honor the hero. Why? Because he exemplifies what's great about an African child. He shows you as a St. John's child that it is possible. He's known the world over. He went to so many countries in the continent, opening ethics committee, ethics offices, so that in Africa we can do our own clinical trials. And if you are in the medical field, you understand why this matters. Because in research yenziwa on Europeans. And then that drug that worked in a European child is then given to an African child without testing it on the African child. Now, right? Bongani wanted to change that, and indeed he did. I met guys in Mozambique, in Nigeria, in Kenya, who said, I'm older than Bongani, but the first time that I was involved in a clinical trial was through the initiation of Bongani, right? Dr. Fundile spoke about TB, pericarditis. Pericardium ke ile covering inhliziyo, right? Niyayazi ne? And then he actually he collaborated with 11 countries and many institutions to do research on TB pericarditis. His focus was not just doing science for the sake of it. He looked at the disease of poverty because he knew from the continent of Africa, people are killed by heart issues that could be treated, heart issues that are related to poverty. And Unambita is one of those people that contributed to the book. So Dr. Kopano Mabaso Matlo, Nami, we didn't really write this book. It was written by no less than 68 contributors, and we put it together. And those contributors, in their own voices, shared their journey with Bongani, what he meant to them, what he did for them, and also who he was to the world. So there was just so many reasons for us to write this book. And I think for now, that's all I'm going to say. And maybe I can just add that because we've been quite deliberate about Ilife Bongani and representing it the way it should, my husband and I, which I'm grateful to have because we have an alignment of the things that matter, we went to Oxford to launch this book. Why? Because Bongani was touched by Oxford University, and it was important that we go to those grounds and launch the book. Thank you.
Kulapho wafumana khona i-PhD yakhe